What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and tonight I'll be doing my rundown and thoughts on AEW Rampage for the 10th of September 2021. And Rampage doesn't waste no time and opens up with Andrade El Idolo, who goes one on one with the Bastard Pack. And at one point, as the match goes on, very back and forth match. These guys really do match up quite well. Their skill in the ring is almost, identical. Very physical, very athletic. You know, been a fan of both of these guys. Both former NXT champions. Back in their time in WWE, and held other gold as well. But here they are in AEW, and this match has been delayed for some time. You know what I mean? A little bit chicanery, a little bit underhandedness on the part of Chavo and maybe even Andrade with the travel stuff and all that. But at one point, Andrade, he goes into the guardrail and he nearly takes out children behind it. And even Andrade reached out to them to make sure they were okay. And I've always had a problem, and I've always had issues with their choice of guardrail. It's so loose, and it goes back into the audience that's sitting there. Why don't they connect them so that they're kind of solid? You know what I mean? It's like right there. Like, what if they got hurt? You know, it's something that these guys probably need to look into. And during the match, fucking Taz, he's called out for his little temper tantrum on Dynamite, and then he said that, oh, I was in commentary mode, trying to say that, you know, I don't know what he was trying to say, because if you're in commentary mode, Taz, then why the hell, you know, why would you have gotten mad at Punk? If you're a commentator, shouldn't you be professional and do your job that you were for that day? You're taking the place of Excalibur. You did the same thing this week, but it's like, I mean, this week, but this on Rampage. But it's like, you know what I mean? And I've always had issues with him. Like he's a commentator, and then yet he gets all upset like he did on Dynamite. I'm like, you know what I mean? And they're calling him out on it, and there's other times that during this thing that they're calling him out on stuff too. It's just like, you know. And when Taz is on his when he's on his game, he's good as a commentator. But those are things I always just bring up. Like, why do you act like Mister Heel Manager when you're a commentator? You even said it yourself. You're in commentator mode. If you're in commentator mode, shouldn't you be professional and be a commentator? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's so dumb. But Pac tries. There's some really good spots here. Pac tries a looks like a sunset flip bomb to the outside. Andrade backflips out, and he backs out of it. Backflips out of it, and then he eats a super kick. And then Andrade, he did this move earlier. He hit a gut stomp or a gut kick on Pac on the outside. He tries to go for it again. He misses and then looks up only to see Pac come down with a moonsault. And then inside, Pac hits a 450 splash inside the ring, and he gets a near fall. And man, the back and forth of this match is just insane. But Jose, the guy who is one of Andrade's cronies or stooges, distracts the ref. What they're talking about? He had a what do you call that? A stunner or something like that. And then from behind, I believe it was Penta. He takes him down, and then he and what do you call it? He and Felix, he and Ray Phoenix, do a double super kick on him, take him out. But then on the inside, as the ref is distracted, Chavo hits Pac with an iPad. At the first, I thought that it was just a notebook, but then it was brought up. I believe it was brought up by Tony Schiavone that it was a iPad. And this was done as Pac is securing, and he has the brutalizer cinched in on Andrade. But then Andrade, takes advantage of that thing. And, apparently, he knew that it was Chavo that did it, and so he basically took advantage of it, and he, takes the pin. But then Jose tells him that it was Chavo that did it, and what does he do? Andrade doesn't thank Chavo. He clocks Chavo who then eats a super kick, a double one by the Lucha Bros, and then they feed him to Pac, who locks in the Brutalizer. It takes a bunch of refs to pull him off, and apparently Andrade doesn't like it when you do things for him. And as long as I've been watching him, at times he pretty much takes care of business on his own. But you know, I don't know what it was. I don't know why Chavo felt like he had to do that for him. But then again, I think he was just trying to protect Andrade because Andrade may have tapped out. Maybe he would have wanted to tap out. At least he lost fair and square. But I don't think Andrade's works that way. So you know, and see what Chavo does. Chavo can explain himself to apparently who's his boss now, who's his employer, Andrade. Now, Darby and Sting address comments made by Tully Blanchard. Darby tells Spears that he said that when Spears says that Sting is riding his coattails. Well, Spears would be nothing without Tully, absolutely nothing. I totally agree with that because as when he was in WWE, the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, he was great in the ring, great look, all that stuff didn't go nowhere. This is really what he needed, and it's a kind of it's a positive for him, but at the same time, Darby does have a point. Where would Sean Spears be? Would he even be anywhere near floating, anywhere near the top of the division with all the other guys? You know what I mean? Would he be? He's part of the pinnacle, so But Sting, says that, well, Tully rode Ric Flair and Arn Anderson's coattails for years, after mentioning how Tully said Sting was riding Darby's. And he talks about why wait to look each other eye to eye, let's do it here in Cincy. They're in Cincinnati, Ohio. And Tully comes out and talks about Sting has always been about the numbers game. But wasn't Sting a loner? Seriously, especially when he was Crow Sting. And Tully had the Horseman behind him, much like now he has the Pinnacle behind him. And then as Tully Blanchard is distracting Sting and talking to him, and he even has the attention of Darby, Spears attacks Darby from behind, and as Tully says, it's all part of their plan. So, talks about numbers game. He just used the numbers game. Well, they didn't have an advantage. But they were only expecting Tully to talk, so he kind of used Spears as a subterfuge, right? And go in there and attack Darby, and they're going to face each other next week. So let's see how much this kind of boils over into their match. Now, talking to the two latest acquisitions of AEW, along with Ruby Soho, Adam Cole, talks about how he looks to the Elite as a brotherhood, not as a group or a faction. He trusts them. And there's a reason why everyone looks up to Danielson and Bryan Danielson and Christian Cage. Because like him, they are special. But they think they can keep up with him, but he isn't even in his prime yet. And he's pretty much states that he would wipe the floor with Bryan Danielson. Now, Bryan Danielson says that the way the Elite acts and dresses, it means they're insecure. I've always talked about how these guys don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to their personalities, their characters, whatever. They think that they're gonna take take this from one wrestler and take another thing from another wrestler and see if it fits them. It's like it's not even natural. Like people who find their charisma and their character, they do it naturally. They are able to bring a little bit of themselves into it, but that doesn't even look like it's them. It just looks like what they think they need to do to be as heels and as cocky heels and flamboyant heels. Like that's what they're going for, arrogant heels. But I like how Daniel Bryan put it out there. But he states that he's not going after just one member of the Elite, but only after one. He's heard and seen how great Omega is. And the reality is he just wants to get into the ring and wrestle and would love for his match, his first one, to be against Omega. And if Omega doesn't step up, he doesn't want to, well, it will be someone else, Because what he loves about AEW is everyone is hungry. They want to go in. They want to prove themselves. So why not? Who better for a lot of these, especially these young guys, to prove themselves and go against one of the greatest wrestlers ever in this generation, or wrestling ever. That's Daniel Bryan. Well, Bryan Danielson now, and he states that he finishes it up with saying that I'm here and I'm game and let's go. So he's like going, come on guys, maybe on Dynamite, someone will step up to him. I mean, Adam Cole and Frankie Kazarian are gonna go at it on Dynamite coming up, and that's gonna be a great match. Let's see what Frankie Kazarian can do, and let's see if he can kill the newest the chances and the career of the latest elite member, that is Adam Cole. Now, a trios tag team action, and it's the ladies, and it's Rebel, Jamie Hayter, and Dr. Baker, DMD, the reigning and defending AEW Women's Champion. And she'll be taking on, well, they'll be taking on Chris Statlander and Riho, and the number one contender Ruby Soho. And this is a fun match. And at one point, we see a Mortal Kombat inspired double team. We see Chris Statlander has Riho, facing, away from her. She has her hoisted up like that. And then Riho is hitting these double kicks on Rebel. It's a la Liu Kang, if those of you Mortal Kombat fans, even the commentary team were going, "What's that? What's that?" When I think it was Tony Schiavone. Who because what would you say that is, Excalibur? And then Taz corrected him. He ain't here right now, like that. But I'm surprised they didn't enter head. Hey, that's like looks like reminds me of Mortal Kombat. But maybe they're not Mortal Kombat fans. Or maybe Excalibur, if he was there, he probably would have said that. But what a show of strength on the next in this next thing I'm gonna talk about. Chris Statlander, yet Rebel, and Jamie Hayter. The two of them had a hard time picking her up. Then they decide, okay, let's let her go and let's continue to beat on her even more so that we can weaken her up. But then what happens when they then cinch her up again to do a double suplex? Well, a double team suplex, well, it's not a double team suplex. It ends up being a double suplex, has without any kind of like effort or any kind of struggle. Christiana just pops him up and slams him back in a double suplex. If you doubt her strength, you're probably thinking that all these guys are just blowing smoke up her ass, saying that Chris Statlander is strong and is powerful. If you don't look at her and how she's built and don't think she's strong, I don't know who you're looking at. Because when she's in that ring, I'm looking at her. Big fan of hers. I love her, and she did that move, and that right there, like I said, proves her strength. It takes a lot of strength to do something like that. And then in the end, after like Riho is flying all over the place, he flew to the outside of the ring on a high cross body onto Jamie Hayter. And then Ruby's in there, and immediately, I guess all the confusion, Rebel wasn't paying attention. She just goes in there, and she basically sets up Rebel and hits her with a Pele kick. Well, it used to be called the Riot kick, when she was in WWE. But they're just calling it a simple Pele kick. I think JR said it. And she does that, and she secures the win for her team, and she's on a roll. She's on a roll. Is Ruby Riott? She won last week as well, right? She won recently. Well, not last week, but I think on Dynamite. And that was that thing, right? It was that handicap match, and she won. And I believe it was Rebel again that got pinned that time too. Like, I think she's just there to make people look better and to be pinned. They're not gonna put nothing on her or make her a main eventer or anything like that. She's just there, to absorb the kicks and punches, so that Dr. Britt Baker doesn't get hurt or anything. You know what I mean? Like, she's just there for that. She's just a punching bag. But let's go to the Cody, right? Cody Riott. Cody returns for on the 22nd for Dynamite Grand Slam, and he's going to be facing Malachi Black, and definitely looking to exact some revenge and get some payback and retribution. So it'll be great to see him. Definitely miss him. I'm sure a lot of people do. Love when I see Cody in the ring and stuff like that, doing real wonders with AEW, and it's good to see that he established himself with this company, and the whole thing with WWE is behind him and how they mistreated him. So it's gonna be great to see him back. But then he's gonna be taking on Malachi Black. You better hope that Malachi Black doesn't say that he's going to finish this match in 3 minutes, because he will. He said he's going to finish that last match they had in what's that in Homecoming. He said, I'm going to finish this match in 5 minutes or less, and he did. He decimated Cody, and Cody was done. You know, and he's been out since then. Now, I skipped Mark Henry's interview with Max Caster and Brian Pillman Jr. because I'm annoyed with Mark Henry's interviewing, and then Max Caster just because he's annoying. And the main event features hometown boy Brian Pillman Jr., and he wasted no time in throwing hands on Caster, jumps him right away, and starts beating on him, starts throwing, like I said, throwing them hands, and then Caster, he shows some offense. Yeah. And somehow his shoes became untied. Like Taz is bringing it up that if someone his shoes become untied, the laces, that it throws you off your balance, and it's true. Because I've seen people when they've done that and then their shoes are loose and they can't run the rings and run the ropes and all that stuff. And then Pillman, even though Caster was getting his licks in, but Pillman dominated this match. But he also had to deal with Caster and his partner, Anthony Bowen. Is it Bowen? Boland? I don't know. I forget his last name, And he was like a little gnat, like a little mosquito, just getting in there, a fly fucking in his face. You knock him away, he comes back, But then he ends up, Brian Pillman does. He hits that move he calls a mic drop. Pretty much jumps off the top rope and hits a clothesline or a forearm, or I believe it was a clothesline, and or elbow. I don't know, because he pretty much had his whole like this right here around Max Caster's face and head and everything. And it's shades of his father. He would do that move, or he would do a move similar to that. And Brian Pillman gets the win at home. But he's attacked by the Acclaimed, and they lay out Pillman. But then Jon Moxley, as soon as Bowen has the damn boombox, he's about ready to clock Pillman with it. He comes to Pillman's aid, does Mox, and he nails Bowen with a boombox. And then Max Caster eats a super kick from Brian Pillman Jr., and then that sends Brian Pillman Jr. sends Max Caster into the waiting arms of Jon Moxley and a paradigm shift DDT, and he hits it, and he probably one of the best ones I've seen in a while, and I'm glad he hit it on him because I can't stand the Acclaim. They are annoying. They're not talented. They suck, especially what I call it when it's dumb rapping style. It sounds so dumb. Like go back to the drawing board and practice some more. You suck as a rapper. Not talking anything about their in-ring skill. They got skill. They got something there. But like I've always said, if I don't like a person, if I don't like the thing, it doesn't matter how good they are in the ring. If you're annoying, why am I going to pay attention and watch you? Especially the crap that he pulled with doing a rap on. I'm still trying to remember that, but it was like a delicate subject. Something happened with a celebrity or something that was very delicate, and then he raps that, and then he gets, I guess, got suspended or something. But he was pulled off of live shows and stuff like that because of that. Now you're lucky, man, that I guess Tony Khan is the guy that, is like, okay, I'm going to let it slide, or I'm going to, this is a warning. Maybe next time I'm going to fire you or whatever. I mean, sometimes you got to remember in this day and age, it's annoying to me too, but in this day and age, you can't say stuff that's even slightly controversial or hurts people's feelings, because the people that's feelings are hurt, they're going to be the ones that's going to have your ass and have your job. They could just complain, and like that, your job is gone. So be a little more careful, guys and gals and folks and everybody else. You know what I mean? Just be careful of what you say. Especially if you're in a highbrow, nationwide, worldwide promotion. AEW. All eyes are on you. So be careful. But anyway, I enjoyed All Out. Well, I enjoyed All Out, definitely. But I enjoyed Rampage. What little they had when it comes to matches and stuff like that. They picked some good matches to feature on this. It's only an hour, and then you have some good promos. You got some good, stuff like going on. Some, except for Mark Henry's interviewing the main eventers, the people in the main event, Brian Pillman Jr. and Max Caster. I skipped that because like I said, he's a lot to be desired, does Mark Henry, even a commentary too. You know, well, folks, you know, I thought I didn't, I thought I could have sworn I thought it was Shaq, talking at times because it has that same tone. Like, you know, man, bring up the energy. Come on, Mark, you're on a nationwide TV show. Don't be talking like you're whispering to your pal there. Oh, hey, what's up, man? Where you gonna go next? Where you gonna go? Hey, what's up? Like, you're talking casual like you're not on a TV show. But let's get past that and let's close this up. So for those of you who stopped by and checked out my video, I appreciate it. I always do. Thank you very much. And in closing, as always, take care.